Hello, my name is Frank Boxberger, and this video is basically to demonstrate how to fill the cavity, an air cavity of a sea turtle. As these pictures are pulled up of the sea turtles, these surge turtles have been damaged. This is happens quite often in propellers hitting the sea turtles, introducing air into their shell, or some theories are that the then organs of the sea turtle release gases. Nevertheless, these poor sea turtles get air in their shell. It keeps the shell floating when they need to sink and swim, avoid predators, eat vegetation off the bottom, and just have fun swimming around. This debilitates them so they can no longer live in the wild. Well, these simple materials, which would be under $10 for each sea turtle, can be introduced into the sea turtle and allow it to return to the wild in its normal condition, minus the big bump on its back. So probably the crux of this whole idea is these water cell gels. You can get 70,000 of them for $10 or less. Now what these do is when you add water, they swell up to 22,000% their normal size. So they can be introduced in a small hole that you drill with a quarter-inch drill or less. The drill bit can be as little as 3 millimeters. The gel cells are then introduced with distilled water. The reason for the distilled water, we want to introduce no bacteria or anything that would eventually grow organic material and be a detriment to the sea turtle and its internal organs. In fact, even a little bit of bleach or chlorine can be added to the cell before it's introduced into the sea turtle. You see the bottle of bleach there, and that will keep each of these cells from ever being able to create microorganisms within each cell if organic material is ever introduced. Then the water cells are filled into the turtle, the distilled water. What will happen is that distilled water will be sucked up into the gel cells, and they will simulate and create a perfect shape of the void that is in the shell. At that point, this fresh water within the sea turtle will be 97% the same density as the salt water on the outside. And that will give the sea turtle perfect balance to swim around in its normal condition. There is a little bit of salt you see to possibly put in the gel cells so that it starts out with about a 7.2 pH to simulate the internal organs of the gel of the sea turtle. So those are the materials needed. There's more explanation at the end of this video on how and why all this is done. Thank you. Bye. Yes, you quickly saw what I believe is the remedy for these sea turtles and what they call bubble butt, which is air that is captured in the sea turtle's shell and deforms it, debilitates it. It can no longer feed at the bottom. It can no longer swim properly. It can no longer escape its predators, so therefore they can't be allowed in the wild. So the biggest portion of this remedy that I'm proposing, again, my name is Frank Boxberger, is these micro water gel cells. And I call them cells because after they're put into the sea turtle, they will expand 22,000% larger than they are when they go in. And they will hold the moisture full of water. Now these cells, because they act independently, will not only fill the cavity, but they will be almost exactly the same density as the seawater. In fact, 97% of what seawater is, freshwater is. So they are filled with fresh water because that will mirror the internal organs of the sea turtle. Also, they act as a thermal barrier because each sea ball has to heat up or cool down before it sends the temperature to the next one. So the outside ones, which sometimes are cold or even warmer, will slowly transmit the temperature. Therefore, the sea turtle can stay at a constant temperature because they are cold-blooded creatures and they do not like cold weather. So these sea balls, or these micro balls, will regulate temperature. They will mirror the pH of the internal organs. So if there's a few sea balls against the large intestine, which is more acidic, it will mirror that and not transmit or suck out pH one way or the other of the internal organs. So we've got the density problem fixed. We have the temperature problem fixed. And then, of course, the shape of the cavity. That's what these sea balls do best. They will come in as lots of little balls, fill the cavity exactly with the water, inflate to where they're almost square in size and not overpressurize the system either. And for long-term use, a little bit of chlorine can be added in the balls and a little bit of salt to at least get the pH to around 7.2 to exactly mirror what's happening in the intestines of the or the actual organs of the sea turtle. Okay, I hope you liked the video, and I hope you like the idea of releasing these now debilitated sea turtles back into the wild. Thank you.